Let's keep the tempo up, hot and rolling. Picks and bans for game number 2. And on the left side, we've got Noble one more time. They're going to get the first picks. Los Amigos, like I said, the biggest change that needs to happen for me, whether you keep the Neath mid or not, it's less about the mid lane specifically and more about having that area of effect damage. Noble Esports against Kingdom tried the invade strategy. It failed game 1, so they didn't try it again in game number 2. With the success that Noble had in game number 1, do you expect the exact same game plan follow-up?
I expect a lot of pressure in the solo lane. Based off of their picks and bans, they picked Raven, Erlang, Shen right off the bat. They denied the Osiris and Amaterasu at one point. So that was their clear-cut strategy for game number 1, and Los Amigos have to respond to it now.
So Noble ban out the Raven. They don't want Amigos to have that one, as Noble Esports has the first pick. Los Amigos says no Fafnir, no Nemesis, which are pretty much the standard second pick bans as of late. And Erlang Shen will be the selection for Noble Esports. Again, flexibility. No one knows if it winds up in the jungle or the solo lane.
It still has a lot of options in the solo lane. No secondary bans. Guan Yu was left open this time around. Wasn't elected to be banned, as we saw Raven was taken away by Noble this time.
Now, Los Amigos, there it is. I was just going to say that. Los Amigos, we just saw them successfully beat a team, or rather Kingdom wound up losing thanks to Noble winds up losing. Thanks to Odin countering Guan Yu very successfully. So Los Amigos say, yes, we want the Guan Yu snap pick. We got to protect him now. So let's take the Odin on our side as well. So Guan Yu will be, well, still a lot of ambiguity. Guan Yu can be support, jungle, solo. So can Odin.
It's a pretty aggressive double warrior composition out of Los Amigos. Between the Guan and the Odin, you want to commit to these all-in fights. Guan Yu is better in terms of defensive capabilities. Odin,
sure,
not so much. So if the aggression doesn't work out for Los Amigos, they can't really fall back, I would say. They're going to commit with their ultimates right off the bat.
And Noble Esports going to do the same. You see the Bacchus Zeus combination, certainly looking for the belly flop into everything that Zeus can bring. And Erlang Shen going to follow things up in the, well, jungle or solo lane position we've yet to see. Los Amigos, one more selection for their pick and ban phase, at least in half number 1.
Well, Bacchus Zeus definitely worked out for Noble. On top of the Erlang Shen, the last game, they're keeping to their guns right now. It was just a different style, though, because at this point in time, they had their solo laner as well. But the fact that Zeus worked out so brilliantly for them the first game, they want to keep the train rolling for that one.
Which is why I like the selection of Kuang. Kuang, I would have accepted Naja here as well. These two characters can take the mid lane out of the game. Essentially, you'll see the ultimate used onto Zeus, and he'll just toss Zeus right up into the sky so he can't hit detonate. And as long as the threats are dealt with in that window, it should be very successful.
Susanoo and the Sun Wukong being banned by Los Amigos so far. Now, having Erlang Shen and Susanoo would have provided a lot of mobility and damage for Noble with the Bacchus and the Zeus, so great mindset from Los Amigos.
Well done. We'll see how the rest of the pick phase goes. One selection here for Los Amigos. And then, of course, Noble will respond with 2 of their own. Ho Yi will be the hunter of choice for Los Amigos. Never a bad choice at the moment.
Especially with Odin, you want to synergize off of the cage. You just drop the Suns in the cage, as well as maybe finding a ricochet or 2 in those small, tight jungle corridors.
Osiris comes back. Noble Esports will pick Osiris for what is likely to be the solo lane. And then Ullr will be the hunter of choice. So Noble Esports with a very interesting and successful lineup, I think. Lose Ullr is very, very strong. Osiris over there in the short lane, never going to be anything people don't want, never going to be something that people aren't a fan of. And then yoyoabc showed us that he can play the Erlang Shen. Los Amigos, though, that's the change I wanted to see. Give us some AoE damage. Vulcan's certainly going to bring it. He'll be the mid lane.
Yet again, synergizing with the Odin. Doesn't really have much synergy, though, with his meatball. Who's going to set him up for that easy-to-confirm meatball, right? On the side of Noble, though, I like this Osiris pick because of his passive being able to walk through the Odin cage. He can also just use his ultimate straight up. It would give a lot of anti-healing on the side of the Guan Yu. And regardless if it's an Odin or a Guan in the solo, which is going to be an Odin in this game, but Osiris should have a pretty easy time.
Yeah, this is a great call. And here's the early game aggression coming out. Osiris misses the sickle. So just a little bit of damage onto the Odin before everybody walks away. You know, the Vulcan choice out of Michael was a very powerful one earlier in the day on their first set. So expecting big things out of Michael one more time.
Just has to switch it up. The need didn't really work out for him that last game. Was too far behind the Zeus.
Yeah.
If you're beyond, like, you have to do something to the Zeus player in general, and that's the reason why this Kuang was picked. Like you mentioned before, the Naja would have been a good choice as well, taking him up into the sky, preventing the ultimate from being, you know, successful, not connecting on the detonate. But gonna be the Vulcan.
I like the Vulcan choice. I'm always a fan of Vulcan. Big, long-time fan of this character. I just think he's very dynamic. There's multiple ways to play him, multiple scenarios that he can get into and out of and be successful. yoyoabc planning the invade one more time. Wrath in tow. It's going to chase Los Amigos off of the speed and the blue, and instead just walk to lane. But Odin gets caught one more time. So Noble Esports, their invade strategy worked game one. They'll make it work game two.
There's two aggressive warriors on the side of Noble that have one Wrath, and against them, Mage Kuang doesn't do that much damage. Odin gonna jump in. Wrath still available. Yo-Yo doesn't want to commit quite yet. Finally finds the speed buff though.
Yeah, needs to turn around and pick it up, but there's damage on the Yo-Yo. Below half HP. Forced to pop the potion. And I mean, the invade onto the Mage Kuang, not too much of a surprise. Here's a rotation from mid lane, which is a surprise to Los Amigos, and the full retreat as everybody just piles in onto the blue buff.
Can't give it up now. The Odin not having his blue buff yet again. Gonna give a lot of experience to both Yo-Yo and RedderRippr, and this could be the same effect as the first game where the solo laner of Noble will just dominate throughout, constantly stealing blue buffs.
Yeah, I mean, so Noble Esports brings their invade strategy to a sort of tenured team in Kingdom, and Kingdom, with their experience, know how to bounce back. Los Amigos in game number one had no clue how to bounce back. So Noble just bringing the same strategy, seeing if the old invade strategy will just win them the game by default.
It's a good idea to try to lean pressure on the solo lane jungle because both Kuang and Odin are very scary when they're ahead. You shut them down early on, you lean on your early game Osiris and Erlang Shen pressure. This is how you win games.
And I mean, that early pressure one more time, Noble Esports again with a big old lead, 500. That's first blood. And Noble Esports looking for the actual first blood. Gonna find it. Yo-Yo makes the rotation right on back to solo. Noble quickly find themselves up very early with the 1,000 gold lead.
They still have their own blue buff to add to that 1,000 gold lead. It's going to be very devastating if Los Amigos don't immediately respond with some sort of strategy. Guan, you're going to get knocked up. A lot of damage from Lou. Doesn't want to commit, however, with the axe dance jump. But as I say that, there it goes.
Yeah, there's, ooh, the axe gonna miss. Couple of basics on point, but can't find the kill just yet onto Kenshin, and the heal will deter.
I thought that he was going to immediately use that jump, but he was trying to line up the heal of arrows before the jump. Now, Lou has a lot of pressure with this Bacchus, just going to be set up constantly with the belly flop into the hail of arrows and the just single shot.
Mid lane, yoyoabc gonna go for the gank, and you can see Supra trusting his jungler there, hoping for the root, not on the target, so ultimate out of Zeus going to be used. But the level 6 Zeus can go ahead right on home as he's got the lead against Vulcan pretty hard, pretty heavily.
It's only level 4 Vulcan. Speed buff is about to respawn in about 30 seconds, and I can expect Noble, that's where they want to lean the pressure on. It's been working for them in the first game. They already got a pretty comfortable lead in the second. Why not continue it?
Just make it happen. Just work it and see how it goes on down. DaleyDale and Lou still pushing up on the side lane.
Although they could switch it up and go for a red buff invade instead. Vulcan has made the rotation around the solo lane jungle. The ultimate from Zeus is down, and with Vulcan about to hit level 5, you don't want to really mess with that.
Not at all. Not at all. Absolutely not. Los Amigos finding themselves down early again. And again, Tolly, I think it's all about this invade strategy. Earlier in the day, Kingdom were able to bounce back, and they were able to make that adjustment, and we didn't see Noble bringing it to game 2. But this time around, Los Amigos showed, hey, we can't figure out a way to fix this one. So Noble said, hey, if it worked the first time, why not a second?
Well, they got their own speed buff right now. Blue buff is still coming up. We have Osiris being able to contest it. Odin is nowhere in position, and we have maybe even a Gold Fury being started at the same time because they're expecting the rotation onto the blue from Los Amigos.
All of the pressure in the jungle winds up going the way of Noble. Half HP on the Gold Fury. Los Amigos more concerned about their solo lane gank. Noble find themselves up over 2,000 gold. Totally, it's 4 minutes into the game.
They have a Wrath. They're exploiting it. They found the speed buff invade, the red buff invade, and now into the Gold Fury. They're just all over the map already. Even though they only have one kill, that one kill allowed this Osiris Osiris to steal the blue buff yet again away from Dr. L.
Yeah, I mean, the kill was just icing on the cake. Yo-Yo made an early rotation over to solo. This lead is, I mean, this lead was without the First Blood, this team was already up 1,000 gold. First Blood brings them even higher. Gold Fury as well combines. Los Amigos, they're a fantastic team, but this is an experience play, and Noble are playing this game absolutely correctly. I think whether or not so Los Amigos are very strong. Are they stronger than Noble? It's irrelevant because Noble's experience and time playing the game allow them to outsmart their opponents. Los Amigos, they look like they've never played against this sort of strategy. So if you've never experienced it, how do you respond?
And that's you need the high level mentality and play to be able to play from ahead and to be able to play from behind. Los Amigos, we know they could play from ahead, but right now, they've just been really struggling with these invades. They need to find a way to adapt.
And for me, it's not as simple as play ahead or behind. I think Los Amigos, they've been through the ringer enough to play from behind, but play from underneath the thumb. I want to say. The amount of pressure that these invades have given Noble Esports, it's a lot different than, you know, being behind 2,000 gold early on because 3 kills happened and a Gold Fury was stolen. This is just all out. Nobody on Los Amigos has felt comfortable in their own jungle for both games.
Not at all. Knock'em not going to connect. And already, we look at the solo matchup. There's 1,000 gold in favor of this Osiris. Odin can't even jump in right now. And the experience per minute specifically, over 700 for both the Zeus and Osiris.
I mean, 500-ish is kind of high, right? Experience per minute, 500, 600, you start going, damn, watch out. 700? Take notes. What's going on? Why is this guy so fat? Level 9 on Zeus. It's 6.5 on the clock.
They're trying to be able to do more invades right now. The red buff nowhere in position is Vulcan or the Kuang. Going to get credited yet again. Wrath being used just to confirm it, just to be able to get out safely as well.
Everybody just 2 steps behind and $3 short. Can't find anything going on for Los Amigos. This is rough. Noble on another level here when it comes to the high-end sort of macro play, just executing their strategy to the fullest. And they're going to run with this. Noble will keep invading until Los Amigos stop them. And for now, this is the biggest response we've seen just yet. It's a 3-on-3 chase over here by the speed buff. Down comes the Odin cage along with the ultimate out of Zeus, and the damage going the way into Los Amigos.
The Vulcan ultimate just slightly off the mark. Michael Checo not in a great position at all. The tether is not going to even matter. Yo-Yo credited with that kill. Speed buff yet again being taken.
Just Noble Esports doing Noble Esports. Here comes LayersOfDeath by himself, pressuring the other hunter off of the pigs. I mean, that's just pressure. So pressure from the team throughout the map, but then LayersOfDeath, even with the enemy hunter, just shows up and pushes the Hou-Yi off of the pigs.
It's just a trickle-down effect. This is not a game that's been pressured onto the dual lane. It started with the solo lane. It started slowly maturing into the Gold Fury with 2 red buffs as well. This is something that's just going to naturally occur, where Lou is going to have that slight gold lead, that 1 experience lead, level-wise rather, and then he's going to start stealing your boars.
Yeah, and I mean, that, in all honesty, Anatoly, I mean, it wasn't even that much. Look at the players. They're separated. You got Transcendence and Boots 2 on Lou, and you had Boots and Ikaval 1 on the Hou-Yi. That's not, it's closer to even than it's not, right? It's simply the response of the game that forces Cameron off of those pigs. That's a fight that Hou-Yi can take, but chooses not to because he has no idea where Noble is.
Has to be so careful about those rotations. Blue just very casually farming away now. With this kind of pressure from Noble in general, Los Amigos, they can battle obviously at level 1, let's say the Kuang and the Odin against the Erlang, Shen, and Osiris, but they could have probably adapted better with picking up a Wrath of their own.
Sure.
Just to be able to find their own speed buff, or if they're going to go for another counter invade strategy, at least they would be able to keep up the pace with the speed and blue buff.
And again, that's what we saw going all the way back to the Kingdom matchup. Kingdom were able to beat Noble Esports. Hold that thought. Los Amigos now in some more trouble. Michael gets smoked by the Zeus ultimate. DaleyDale's got an ultimate of his own, taking out his direct opposition in the support role. And guess what time it is, Toly?
It's Gold Fury time, F-Dot.
There it is, 5,200 gold in the lead right now. Looking to extend that is Noble. Going to start up the GF. And it's already down to a quarter of HP. Couple of hits out of the Wrath, and that'll secure it. 6,500 on the nose. And Noble Esports leading very hard.
But they're not done yet. They're going for the red buff on top. CaMeRxN just being a spectator. Belly flop off the mark doesn't even matter. Who he doesn't want to overextend. Lou connecting with the stun. Hail of arrows. Going to force out the jump. Just going to disengage. Lou very comfortable with grabbing the red and continuing to farm.
Lou has been I've enjoyed watching Lou for so long throughout PC Challenger, throughout console Challenger, throughout console Pro League as well. Just watching him do what he does, because he's very disciplined. As Los Amigos find their first kill of the game onto Yo-Yo. He's very disciplined. He's willing to take these, but he's also willing to take the 1v2. Sanctuary used to avoid some of the damage out of the ultimate. He's slowed. He's got to jump away. And there's the fight out of Ripper. He's again getting invaded on.
And Lou barely able to survive under his own tower, while Ripper dropping the speed buff. Kuang not able to pick it up, and that was a great job overall, I would say, by Los Amigos, finding the kill onto the jungler. But now Dr. L gonna escape the tether, not wanting to be committed under the solo tier 1 tower.
Yeah, I think the kill is too little too late though, Tolly. Los Amigos sitting down 5,000, 6,000 gold, a single kill onto yoyoabc, which still doesn't defend their right side buffs. That's so rough. This level 13 Zeus is able to walk around and do whatever he wants.
It's just a little too late, rather, from Los Amigos. They had a nice strategy where they showcase how you can kill the Erlang Shen that goes Wrath without having Purification to deal with the Kuang execute. But should have happened about 5, 7, 8 minutes ago.
Exactly. Exactly, and Los Amigos just don't have a response for this invade, and you know, it comes down to the experience of the crew. These guys are fresh, these guys are new, and that's exciting. They're talented, and they've got all this raw talent on their side as far as their mechanical prowess and their ability to play the game, but they've been presented with something that they don't know how to respond to here strategically, and because of that, Noble's just bringing it home. Tier tower being aggressed on, there's the Vulcan ult, and the Odin cage drops down, but still not enough. Amigos caught their own jungle. RedderRippr gets the kill.
Not having the jump available because of the initiation. Now, RedderRippr looking for even more, forcing the purification out of CaMeRxN. Lou casually clearing the mid wave. Tier 1 mid tower was poked down to about 50%. A nice little pressure being applied by Noble.
Still not wanting to give it up. They get round 2 onto the tower, and if the first time around gave them 50%, the second time around going to do just the same. Down it goes, 500 gold. Back onto the lead for Noble Esports, and almost, they're 8K up right now, 12 minutes in. And like we said, they're leading the game, they're leading the series, and should Noble find another win, we'll go to a tiebreak scenario.
Well, slow and steady is the pace for Noble. They don't want to put pressure onto the tier 2 mid quite yet. Lou wants to defend his own tier 1 on the left, find more farm on the Hunter. You're almost in that mid-game point, about level 13, having your second relic. You're almost finished with the chin size, so this next Gold Fury is just going to get shredded. Yet again, another red buff. This is the 4th red buff.
Yeah, I mean, every single spawn of the left side jungle has been taken. Pretty sure it's been, I've taken note on the red side. As far as the right side, it's been, to my knowledge, every single rotation as well. I don't think Los Amigos has had a single buff to their name on the right side of the map.
I think the first red buff invade from Noble allowed Los Amigos to get their own speed. That was the only time they ever secured it. Dr. L forced to run away and ultimate, but a nice taunt. Tether stun, walking through the cage because of the passive, gonna connect, still diving it with a lot of physical defense. Should be able to find the kill, but the shield could save Odin's life here.
Yeah, Raven Shield, a big player, but the knockup, not even going to find a home, but the basic attacks need to find it. Odin here living way too long. RedderRippr finally putting a cap on it. 6 in total for Noble Esports. RedderRippr, he's been a part of 4.
I don't know why he didn't jump over the blue buff, instead of being chased behind the tier 1 and tier 2, but not done yet. Kuang making the rotation, finding the execute, might land down back onto Yo-Yo.
Yeah, this is a good play for Los Amigos. They want to chase this fight, but they got to be careful of Supra in the jungle, and because of that rotation called out by LayersOfDeath in the sky, it won't be taken. Noble Lou on the run in the Suns, finding it. There's a Sanctuary to avoid the damage. damage, looking for the shot. Sanctuary the other direction, looking for a stun. Off the mark, here's the wave. Lou's stun, Combat going the other way. Lou's on the retreat. Here comes Cameron, jumping on forward as Lou to safety underneath his tower, and the 1v1 goes nowhere.
Lou felt so comfortable absorbing so many of those suns before popping that Sanctuary. Now Zeus, oh, nice sneaky play by Cameron, but it's going to cost him his life. Yo-Yo making the rotation.
This is competitive. There ain't no such thing as a 1v1, son. Sit down. I got friends in the jungle. Well done by Yo-Yo, just getting the okie doke shot right from the entranceway.
And Gold Fury has respawned. Lou gonna be very healthy now off of the fountain rotation, finishing off the Aussie for more attack speed, more penetration, and the lifesteal. Now working on the chin styes.
Good stun, or root rather, onto the Vulcan. Backfire already used, and the meatball. And that'll save the life of Michael one more time. Yo-Yo chased out, having a much better game this time around than Hindu and I got to watch.
Definitely so, as Lou and Daisy gonna be able, Daily rather, Daisy. Daly's going to be able to start off the Gold Fury with the rotation from Yo-Yo. No one in position from Los Amigos. Vulcan is good enough to contest a Wrath here.
No, absolutely. It is. But again, pressure. Noble has created a situation where if you're on Los Amigos and you walk past not even the 50% line, that 25% line, you're toast. Kenshin's able to pick up DaleyDale. This could be a good play for Los Amigos, but they only have one kill. Michael's gonna fall down. RedderRippr puts another one on the scoreboard.
Dr. L can make the same rotations that RedderRippr does. He was trying to flank underneath a little too late. yoyoabc wanted to box 1v1 by the rest of his team. Is going for this tier 2 tower.
Yeah, the 1v1 just to keep Odin out of the conversation. Tier 2 likely to fall here. Lou with the tower aggro, going to be aggressed on by the Odin. Tower still alive for the moment. Odin jumping towards. There's the execute, and RedderRippr falls down finally.
Finally, but the tier 2 tower has taken a lot of poke, landing back onto Super.
Good fight.
His ultimate is down. This could be the best fight that Los Amigos wants right now.
And they're looking for a double knockup coming out of the Erlang Shen, and the turnaround on his Super O makes this go the opposite way. Cameron gonna get shot in the face by Lou as well. That's 10 in total for Noble Esports. Still giving chase out of the Guan Yu, and that'll do it. Supra puts 11 on top.
He's level 17, not even the 17 minute mark, the same level as your soul laner. This is unheard of coming out of mid right now. And with that top player damage of the game, he is the reasoning that Noble has been so successful in these team fights, despite the early pressure that Yo-Yo has done in the early game.
Not even just game 2, in game 1 as well. Supra really bringing the Zeus damage, brought to you by a little bit of setup from the guys around him on his team. Tier 2 tower gonna fall down, and Los Amigos now trailing by 10,000 gold. This one's looking Noble all the way to the finish line.
Grabbing another red buff on top. The Gold Fury still down for a little while. Gonna transition over to the left-hand side. There's nothing for them to do in the mid lane. Lou just gonna farm, but it looks like the grouping up around Fire Giant for Los Amigos. I think they were afraid that maybe Noble would sneak it.
It's possible. It's possible. I mean, Noble has snuck literally everything else in the entire game. So it makes sense. But instead, Noble just going to go and clear out some of their own buffs. Los Amigos, they get credit. Los Amigos clear their blue buff. That's got to feel good. 17.5 into the game.
Having their first blue buff. Dr. L's like, yeah, I got one, guys. I could kind of do stuff now.
And
Not really.
It's rough as a solo laner because, I mean, it's not even... It's a team fault, right? It's not Dr. L's fault that his lane got demolished and he's been abused all game.
It's a picks and bans fault, I would say. The combination of Los Amigos during picks and bans, they got outdrafted. There's just too much aggression on the side of Noble. Still being aggressive in the dual lane is Yo-Yo, finding the taunt, going to be able to jump away under the tier 1 tower, but this is going to be enough pressure to secure the tier 1 for Noble.
See, I like the picks and bans a lot better this time around with the Vulcan, right? The AoE damage certainly is a much better shot from the single target needs. What would you have changed this time around?
I would just say picked up the Wrath onto the Kuang. Kenshin, the detonate, not enough, but the hail of arrows is.
Ooh, Lou, so dirty, finding the shot, full extension, wrapping around the back, comes the support, looking for the stun, there it is. Tossed up, good play coming out from the Kuang, but Kuang's gonna fall again from a shot from Lou. Answered back is Cameron, but the damage already done. RedderRippr doing as his name says, ripping through the opposition, taking down one, Super gets another, and RedderRippr gets the double kill.
That's going to be a deicide. Super was able to survive in the back to Dr. L, and now that's going to be a tier 2 on the left if they wanted to with the respawns. Kenshin's going to respawn, but a Guan Yu against 4 members at this point cannot defend this Phoenix Siege.
No, not at all. He doesn't have the tools available. He'll be able to stun 1, maybe 2 players if Noble don't space out correctly, but a push out from the Erlang, Shen, and the Bacchus. See, here it comes. He's looking for Supra. He's going to wrap around, try and find the stun, but it's just not going to be there. The Phoenix able to be tanked up by these tanky players on Noble, and slowly but surely, down it will fall.
Lou was down for the count, so that's why it took a little bit of extra time that Noble would have wanted, but it was a very safe, calculated play because it was only the Guan Yu.
Lou going to join up with the squad in just a little bit. 3 on the left, 2 marching up the mid lane. From Noble, going to go ahead and meet up with their friends. 14K in the lead, and Noble Esports look like they're bringing this one all the way home.
And Los Amigos wants to force the issue because they're assuming that Noble ult backed at different times, but great slow from RedderRippr. yoyoabc might be in an awkward spot. I think he still has his dash available, but you can't dash from the cage.
Smoked out. See you later. yoyoabc finds, I mean, that's 2 deaths that really shouldn't have happened, to be honest with you, onto Yo-Yo, but at this point, nobody really is paying that much attention to that scenario.
I mean, even in a 5v4 for Los Amigos, they can try for this fire giant, but I'm expecting that 4 members of Noble is enough to contest this.
Yeah, you got to make this play if you're Los Amigos, though. This is the sort of the Hail Mary shot. Here comes Noble Esports looking at the fire giant. It goes the direction of Los Amigos. CaMeRxN picks up a kill, turning it around. However, is Noble Esports one more shot for the jungler. Can't find the execute, and Lou's able to take out Kenshin, but Michael answers back with RedderRippr. 3 dead on the side of Noble, and Los Amigos making a push for the win.
Lou's on the backside, finding the Vulcan. Not really anywhere for him to go. The Kuang making the rotation, execute available. Lou's gonna fall. That's 4 dead. Respawning his Yo-Yo. DaleyDale being able to jump over the wall. LayersOfDeath, he has to be careful because of this respawn.
Los Amigos, they got 4 players with the fire giant pushing down mid lane. Mid tower being aggressed on, but they also have to defend their very own base. CaMeRxN's gonna stay here with the Odin, and all the other players are going to go ahead and retreat. But here comes yoyoabc, level 17, comparatively speaking to 15 and 16 on Odin and the Hunter respectively. Still, trouble for Yo-Yo. There's the Raven Shield. Might deal damage. Not enough to kill. And now all of a sudden, CaMeRxN, even with the Fire Giant buff, in some trouble, Tolly.
Gonna find the root, doing so much damage every single in here and jumping over the wall under the safety of the Vulcan turret. Gonna not be able to really commit under this.
Great play coming out from Los Amigos. Absolute great play. They forced the Fire Giant in a situation where even with a single player down, they know they can run into trouble. It's a 5-on-4, but Noble Esports so far ahead that it's still dangerous. They take the fight. They confirm the Fire Giant, which I think is very important. They stay on the objective during the team fight enough to confirm it. They win the team fight there and push forward. Unfortunately for Los Amigos, they're so far behind and took so long to end the team fight that the respawn timers were staggered, so they met opposition in that mid lane.
I would say Los Amigos did a great job by forcing the Fire Giant, but it was also Noble helping them out. Zeus leashed the Fire Giant with his ultimate, didn't find the reset, was still doing damage every single tick, found the detonate, and the Vulcan ultimate over the top is what helped Los Amigos secure this Fire Giant. Not able to really get any towers though, or the Gold Fury to mitigate the gold loss, which is so important when you're this far behind.
Exactly. So now Los Amigos, they're still playing defense. Gold Fury going the way of Noble very quickly makes that lead again. 12K and another couple of towers going down. We'll stretch it one more time. But more importantly, this gold is all in the pocket, not in the item build. And Los Amigos have the Fire Giant. So the shell popped. Los Amigos wait up the shell and then come aggressive. They could have a good shot. Ring down on top of 2. Down to the Vulcan, but it's stopped by the Sanctuary on top of the Zeus. Very important individual play. Los Amigos still playing defense on the tier 2. Half HP for the tower itself. And Los Amigos trying to push up, but Noble doing a better job of it. Bounce on top. Yo-Yo puts one down. Kenshin in trouble. Everyone around LayersOfDeath finds the blink forward. Here comes Guan. Stun. Not good. Los Amigos on the Phoenix.
Yo-Yo wants to continue to play aggressive. Super finding the kill. a nice double knockup from Bacchus, but look at this, the Odin trying to find a kill onto Yo-Yo, not going to find it. Deterred away into middle, right side Phoenix being pressured, left side Phoenix respawning, but that's going to be a fire mini wave that should be able to grab it soon.
And there's a teleport in from the Osiris, a fresh health bar, fresh mana bar, ready to fight one more time. Odin jumps along the backside. Phoenix already taken down, and Odin will fall as well. Kenshin, the only one around, doesn't want anything to do with that. So with 3 players dead on Los Amigos, 1 Phoenix alive. Noble trying to make the push.
No one committed to the defense on the left side, Phoenix. And now, because of this last one is going to go down. Only 3 members to defend this. Really low is RedderRippr. Going to get stunned out. Ooh. He's going to get taken out. It's going to delay the ending push from Noble, but I still got to give them a lot of credit for getting these 3 Phoenixes. All they have to do is just back and reset.
We have seen a defense on 3 Phoenixes down, however, Anatoly. Will it happen one more time? Supra wants to say no. Daily wants to say no. Still pushing up on the mid lane as well is Daily and his Hunter, but Lou can't find it. Yo-Yo chased out, and Los Amigos again holds their spot.
Nice route onto Kuang, not finding the execute, or not allowing him to find the execute. Going to be able to reset, as well as waiting for the respawn timer for RedderRippr. He's such a tanky target that you can't really siege without him.
Absolutely not. I mean, RedderRippr doing a lot of the work, both dealing with a lot of the front line and dealing some damage himself. Keep an eye on that Nimian Lion build. A lot of the characters coming out, obviously the Hunter, but also Odin. A lot of basic attacks coming out from him, so hurting himself a little bit more than hurting the opposition.
25 minutes into the game. Noble looking to close this one out. Fire Giant buff has worn off on them, so they're just going to be able to ward around the perimeters. Going to find maybe a pick if Los Amigos are feeling very ambitious, or just going to find themselves a free Fire Giant.
The game plan for Los Amigos is just to sort of wade in this kiddie pool. They want to wade it out, and they want to stretch everything. Right now they're behind, but Golden Experience has a ceiling. And if Los Amigos can last, what do you say, 10, 15 more minutes? They might be able
20,
to come out on
25
top.
maybe?
Eesh. That is a long timer to look at if you're on Los Amigos. Fire Giant goes to wave Noble. And with all 5 members alive and well, going to be a push.
It's going to be on the right-hand side. This Phoenix is going to be the first one that's going to respawn. They want to be sure that all the Phoenixes are going to continue to be down during this last Titan siege.
Right side is where Lou will lead the charge. You can see Osiris here as well, trying to make the play. Los Amigos, no Phoenix on the right side to defend. No Phoenix on the mid or left. It's all about the Titan.
The fire minutes are starting to flood in middle and left. It's going to be very difficult for Los Amigos to fan out in all 3 lanes. Recognizing this is Noble, they're just going to come straight down the middle.
Lou finds the stun. The jump is too deep, but down comes the ring, and the Vulcan ultimate over the top makes everybody hit their sanctuary. Noble Esports chase out a bunch of ultimates. LayersOfDeath, the only one with 1 available. Titan goes down. Noble Esports get it, and they will stretch this one even more so. Los Amigos drop 2. Wow.
That's going to be a 3-way tie.
Eesh. That will be a 3-way tie, and we're going to run into tie-break scenarios. So this one's an interesting one. Let's break it down. So per the SCL relegation rules, in the event of a 3-way tie with no clear victor, as in right now, all teams will be randomly seeded into a single elimination best-of-1 bracket. The top seed will get an automatic bye into the Smite Console League. Based on the randomization, Kingdom Esports came out as the first seed and have now qualified into the SCL. Los Amigos and Noble will now play a best-of-1 matchup, a single game, to determine our 6th and final team to compete in the SCL Fall Split.
So now going into a best-of-3 between these 2 teams. Going to be interesting to see how Los Amigos adapted to this aggressive strategy coming out of Noble.
Well, exactly. That's the fun part. It'll be Kingdom versus Los Amigos. We will see how this one winds up. It's for all the marbles, all the cookies. A single game is the entryway into the Smite Console League. We'll be right back with that game and some more fun.